Hello friends, I'm Dr. Anil Narsinghe, Assistant Professor in the Department of Microbiology, Yogeshwari Mahavidyalaya, Ambajogai. Friends, as part of UGC HRDC online refresher course in Environmental Studies and Sustainable Development, I'm presenting my seminar topic on bioremediation, an eco-friendly approach for textile effluent treatment by microorganisms. Friends, a dye is a colored substance that has affinity to the substance to which it is applied. Among the synthetic dyes, Azo Dyes is one of the largest group of the dyes, and these dyes they are found to be widely used in the textile industry, food industry, cosmetic industries, pharmaceutical industries, and paper industries. And prior to 1856, the dyes were prepared from the natural resources such as flowers, vegetables, woods, root, insect, etc. However, with the increasing needs and demands, industries they became dependent on the dyes which were manufactured from the petrochemical, that is synthetic dyes. And these dyes they are soluble in water, they are easily absorbed, and these dyes they are found to be very fast in coloration as compared to the natural dyes, and they provide a large versatile in colors. In the current picture, the worldwide production of dyes is nearly 8 lakh tons per year, and a large amount of dye is produced is used in the textile industries, textile processing. It is water intensive, releasing a huge amount of textile wastewater. Toxicity of the dyestuffs. Some dyes, the azo dyes, they have been linked to the human bladder cancer. They have been linked to the splenic sarcomas. They can also cause hepatocarcinomas. They can also be responsible for chromosomal aberrations in mammalian cells. They can also induce liver nodules in experimental animals. It is found that some dyes, azo dyes, they have been linked to the human bladder cancer, splenic sarcomas, and they also found to induce nodules in the experimental animals. As early as 1895, increased rates in bladder cancer they were observed in workers involved in dye manufacturing. Some azo dyes they have been linked to the human bladder cancer and many other disorders. And the International Agency for Research on Cancer they has classified various dyes like benzidine as being associated with the cancer in humans. These synthetic dyes they are extensively used in textile dyeing, paper, printing, color photography, pharmaceuticals, cosmetics, and many other industries. Azo dyes are the largest and most versatile class of the synthetic dyes. These azo dyes they are generally considered to be xenobiotic compounds which are recalcitrant against the biodegradation process. Means these xenobiotic compounds they are resistant to the biodegradation process. Textile industry they generate millions of liters of untreated effluents per day, and that is directly being discharged into the drinking water resources such as the rivers and lakes, and this alters the pH. It increases biochemical oxygen demand and also the chemical oxygen demand. These azo dyes and their metabolites they are found to be very toxic. They are carcinogenic, means they are responsible for causing cancer such as the human bladder cancer, splenic sarcomas, hepatocarcinomas, and they are found to be mutagenic in nature. Therefore, the treatment of textile wastewater is very essential before discharging this wastewater into receiving water bodies. And the conventional aerobic wastewater treatment process They cannot efficiently decolorize and degrade the Azo dyes, which is containing the effluents, to the regulatory level. These Azo dyes, they are the most widely used among synthetic dyes, and they represent almost 70% of the textile dye stuff produced. They are easy to synthesize, they have a low cost, they are stable, and they can be used to color several materials such as the textile, leather, plastic, and food. And they allow a great variety of colors and shades. The annual world production of Azo dyes is estimated to be around 1 million tons. The Azo dyes, they contain at least one nitrogen double bond, and many different structures they are possible, such as monoazo dyes, they will have only one nitrogen double bond, while diazo dyes and triazo and polyazo dyes, they will contain 2, 3, or more nitrogen double bonds respectively. Dyes and environmental concern. There is a great environmental concern about the fate of these dyes. The industrial effluents, which is containing synthetic dyes, when it is discharged into the water bodies, that will reduce the penetration of light in the receiving water, and that will affect the process of photosynthesis, and that will also have the effect on the aquatic fauna and flora present in that water bodies. So that dye containing effluent, that will also increases the biochemical oxygen demand of the contaminated water, and in this way that dye is found to be causing a great environmental concern. These dyes, they are very toxic, they are highly persistent, and they are ubiquitously distributed in the environment, and therefore they are causing considerable environmental pollution, and they pose a very serious health risk. So when this dye containing effluent it is discharged to the environment, that will causes many aesthetic problems due to the remaining color from the dye stuff, and they also do damages the quality of the receiving water. So industrial effluent, which is containing the synthetic dye, that will reduce the penetration of the sunlight in the receiving water bodies, and that will have many hazardous effect. That water it is not suitable for the direct consumption, and when that water it is used for the plantation for the cropping purposes, so that residues which is collected, that may also cause hazardous. So when the dye containing effluent or these dye, they have been discharged into these water bodies, that will get accumulated into the tissues of the fishes and the aquatic fauna and flora, and when these seafoods they have been consumed by the mankind, so that accumulated residues that will cause the danger, so that may cause the cancer. So there are certain environmental agency or legislations on the textile effluent. Government legislation it is increasingly becoming more stringent, especially in the more developed countries, regarding the removal of these dyes from the industrial effluents. Environmental policy in the United Kingdom, it has since September 1997 it has stated that zero synthetic chemicals should be discharged into the marine environment. Effluent discharge regulations in Germany, they are amongst the most stringent in the world. In response to the Germany ban on Azo dyes, with any of the 20 amines, the exporting countries and the manufacturers, exporters, including the government support system organizations, so industry association in India took a number of proactive initiatives when Germany announced ban in late 1994. A list of 20 ban amines along with a list of 48 dyes was circulated in India. biodegradation approach for the treatment of textile effluent and dyes by the microorganism. The general approach of bioremediation, it is to improve the natural degradation capacity of the native organisms. So the native microorganism, they will have the ability of these biodegradation of the textile dyes and various effluent and toxic waste. And biodegradation, it is an environmental friendly, it is cost competitive alternative to the chemical decomposition process, because there are various physical chemical processes which have been used to treat the textile effluent and these dyes, but when these methods they have been used, they will cause the secondary problem of the sludge. So sludge which is produced, that will again create the danger. So the bioremediation approach by the microorganism, it is found to be an environmental friendly approach. It is cost competitive approach, and that is not causing any hazard, or that will not cause any secondary sludge formation. So in this way they are found to be very much beneficial. There are several reports they are available which indicate that the variety of microorganisms, they have the potential and they have been involved in this bioremediation of the dyes and the effluent. These include some bacteria such as Aeromonas hydrophila, Xenophilus, then Bacillus strain, Spingomonas, Eubacterium, Staphylococcus, Clostridium, Butyrovibrio and Bacteroides, and many other species of microorganisms, they have been involved in bioremediation, that is biodegradation of the textile effluent. And this is the list of degrading bacterial cultures, that is which have the ability to degrade these dyes. And the degradation of these dyes by the bacteria, so that can be achieved by a variety of oxidoreductive enzymes, and these are found to be the key to the degradation of these synthetic dyes, because this dynamic metabolism of the bacteria, that will enable them to utilize the complex xenobiotic compounds of the dye stuff, that is the substrate, and in this process these dye stuff, they are broken down to less complex metabolite. Studies on the cultures on such as Proteus, Mirabilis, Pseudomonas, Luteola and Pseudomonas, they have shown the promising result for the degradation of these Azo dyes under anoxic conditions. Mixed bacterial cultures. The isolation of the pure culture from the textile wastewater, it can be time consuming and it can be difficult or it can be laborious. It is somewhat difficult to isolate these pure cultures which have the ability to degrade these textile dyes and effluent. And it is also difficult to achieve the complete decolorization and degradation by these pure bacterial culture. So when we use the mixed bacterial culture, then due to their cooperation, due to their synergistic effect, so they will enhance that process, and there will be the enhanced effective and the better results in the decolorization and the mineralization. So there will be the complete mineralization of these textile dyes and metabolites, and in this way they can be found to be efficiently degrade the toxic aromatic amines and these metabolites. So in this way, this bioremediation approach, it is one of the environmental friendly approach for the treatment of the textile effluent, and that is found to be very effective and very better. So on behalf of UGC, HRDC, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, Marathwada University, Aurangabad, I am very much thankful for giving us an opportunity to participate in this seminar competition, in the seminar, and present our seminar. Thank you.